Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Arena Gauntlet League match. This begins the final week of play of which we have qualified for. Week number 6. And this is match number 26 of what is hopeful to be 30 matches here in the league. If you stumbled across this video, don't know what you're watching, you can check the top of the description and check out my week 0 introduction into this league, how we arrived where we currently are today. And you can also check the last 25 videos on the channel to catch up to where we are if you want to enjoy the ride, per se, as it's been quite the ride, quite the fun time so far. And like I said, today is match number 26. The deck you see on your screen is the deck we are running in this match here. We've got a little bit of a black-red sacrifice deck. You know, those of you that have been here, you know what's going on. We've been playing this deck for a while here. And yeah, this starts go time. Starts go time right now. So let's check out the standings going into today's match. Now, heading into the 6th week of play, here is where we currently stand on the leaderboard. We are in 10th place with a record of 17-8. The only thing that matters at the end of week 6 is that we end up in the top 8. It's about all we can hope for. 9th or worse doesn't get you much. I mean, it pays out a little bit. Maybe like you profit 2x your entry fee or something. But really, we're looking for a top 8 so we can get into that mega draft and try to win the league here. We are sitting in 10th place. 28 people made it to week 6. And at the time of today's match, 27 remain. The Arena Gauntlet League also has a Google Sheets document that is used as the predictor model that runs all sorts of simulations and can give you percentage chances of what it thinks you're going to do. And going into today's 26th match of the league, we are at a 43% chance to make top 8. So not too bad. Want to get that up by getting a win today, and here's where it starts. And we've got our work cut out for us in this first match of week 6 going against DiabolicMachine, who is so high on the leaderboard you couldn't see him. In 4th place with a record of 18-7. So winning this match could ensure that we jump DiabolicMachine in the standings, very possibly. Could also mean if we lose that they become unreachable for us. So a lot on the line this entire week. They are in 4th place, vying for a top 8 spot. They are running a Gruul deck, which has been a deck that has given us some issues over the course of this league entirely. So without any further ado, enjoy today's 26th match of the Foundations Gauntlet League. Okay, so here we are in the match, and we start on the draw today. This week, for the first 4 matches, I'm going to have to be commentating over these post-match, because I had to play my matches while I was on the road and record them on my laptop, which is not an ideal situation as far as recording and things, but it's what I had to do to make sure I can get my matches in early on in the week, so I stood a chance at top 8. So it's what we're doing here today, and I will be commentating over the plays that I've already made. So here we go. Always heard bolt the bird, right? So they played 2 birds, so I had to bolt them both. Doesn't feel great doing that because I also want to get on the board, but you know, got to go ahead and just get rid of the ramping creatures while I can. And now we just get to dump our hand. And the Playful Shove is not looking to do a lot here. But, you know, maybe we can figure out a way to get it to work. All right, no plays on turn 4 is always nice. So we'll go ahead and get in. Make that unable to block. Don't need to actually pay, though. And then don't really have anything else to do with our mana. So, I mean, at this point, we just kind of have to pump the Raider and try to push some damage here. The Playful Shove, like I mentioned, is really not doing anything. So, go ahead, push 5 damage here. Put them down to 16. All right, what sort of 5-drop with haste do you have access to? The answer is nothing. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just keep attacking if you're not giving any sort of priority here. And we just have to pump this thing twice again. There's really nothing else to do with our mana. So, yeah, just send it for 6, put them to 10, and pass it back. Must be getting flooded horribly over there, if I had to guess. Okay, 6 and still nothing to do. So now I could steal the cavalry and attack for like 6, but that doesn't seem great. Rather than just, go ahead and attempt to kill the cavalry and then be left with a steal spell and a removal spell in hand. We can kill the cavalry and attack for 5, and we have lethal next turn. Even if they play a creature, we could steal it with employment, and if we draw a land, we could kill it. So we're just going to go ahead and attempt to kill the cavalry here. And it does, in fact, work. Attack in, and pump the raider. Put them to 5. Gotten quite lucky with their draws here so far, and there's the GG. So quick game 1, we'll take it. Go into sideboarding here. And looking at their pool. As I was playing, I did have access to their pool. I could look back right now as far as what my sideboarding thought might have been going into it here. Most of the time, I'm just not making a lot of sideboarding changes. Looking at Gorehorn Raider to kill those 2 drops. But the thing is, by the time that comes down, the Raider comes down, those have done their work and gotten the mana that they need. So, I mean, looking at the deck here, haven't made any changes yet so far. And doubt there's a change I will make. Power Stone Fracture. I mean, like I said, during that frozen point, I was probably looking at their pool. I brought in the Power Stone Fracture here. My guess is he's got a couple of Ashroot Animists, which have been tough for me to deal with because those are 4/4s with trample that also give other things trample. And my deck is kind of built around like chump blocking and sacrificing those creatures and things, and trample just hurts a lot. Debating Dragon Trainer here as well, trying to decide what to take out for the Power Stone Fracture, but at the end of the day, I just decide to keep it as is. The first game went well enough. So we'll see if we can ride that momentum here in game number 2. Start on the draw. Hand is kind of slow. Like I mentioned in so many other videos, though, we have like 13 2-drops we could draw and like 4 1-drops. So there's so many good draws we can have here. But instead, we draw a land and a 4-drop. So Darkstar Augur will be the first play, and then Teapot Slinger, both of which are good attackers for Strongbox Raider. But now there's a 4/5 with Reach and Trample. So that's great. Play the Augur and get beat down by a Colossadactyl. I mean, that's tough. A turn 3, 4/5 Reach Trample. Tough to deal with here. I don't expect this Augur to live. And it doesn't. So down goes our only creature. Can't trigger the Raider next turn. So we have to play Teapot Slinger and still take 4 next turn. The Scooze is obviously pretty difficult. We've drawn now 3 lands and a Strongbox Raider. So this is going great. Scavenging Ooze is now a 3/3. At least it can't attack through the Slinger at the moment. There's no other creatures in the yard. I need the Slinger to attack next turn so I could play the Raider and potentially find something off the top that can help me. Plan on blocking Colossadactyl. That's my plan here. Let's draw a 4th land now. So I have to attack with the Slinger. As bad as this feels, play the Raider, and maybe we find like Burst Lightning or Stab or something to help us kill the Berserker. But no, we find 2 more lands. So 5 lands in hand, 5 on the battlefield. We've drawn what? 5 lands and a Strongbox Raider this game so far. So yeah, that's brutal. And removal for the Raider does mean we are dead, but there's not much we can do about that, is there? And yeah, say the GG. Get the counter on that. Trample. And they didn't even need the counter. We were dead anyway. So yeah, that was a beating of game 2, which is mostly what I expect when we play against red-green decks that have a lot of trample and can get on the board early. We need to kind of get out ahead of our opponent and make them be on the back foot as we play these games and matches here. Looking through, really seeing if anything matches up well against their stat lines, but I mean, looking back at that Power Stone Fracture, I think one way I could improve my standing in this league and future leagues is develop a better sideboarding plan. I just don't feel like I'm able to gain much from my sideboarding plan. So we will obviously choose to play here and mulligan very quickly in the 6-lander. And you know, this one is actually functional. As long as the Brazen Collector survives, I think this hand is functional. And I originally think about sending back that Searing Barrage, but this hand, it all rides on that Brazen Collector. And I'm banking on it surviving and attacking and playing Goblin Borders, and off we go. The Brazen Collector could also help us play a Searing Barrage on turn 4. So really hoping this thing survives. Red-green, if not for Burst Lightnings and Abrades, usually can't deal with this early. So we go ahead and can actually play a turn 3 Red Box Raider or Strongbox Raider here as well. So let's go ahead and attack. Play the Raider. Get the nice. And do we want a Gourmand or a Hungry Ghoul next turn? My thought is to take the Hungry Ghoul to protect us against removal here. We at least get counters out of that. It means we don't have another play next turn if we want the Ghoul, unless we draw another 2-drop. So that's not great, but you know, same thing would have happened with the Gourmand, so it doesn't really change the decision there. Look to be potentially mana screwed with 2 forests. The Librarian requires 4 mana to activate, so that probably, well, definitely won't be happening this turn. Question is, can they play a blocker for the Brazen Collector? Okay, not mana screwed. Got the mountain. Let's see what the play is here then. Felling Blow for the Strongbox Raider. Okay, so they saw the writing on the wall when it comes to the 5-2 attacking them down, which means they probably don't have great blockers in their hand, but we drew exactly what we needed to play both the Hungry Ghoul and the Goblin Borders this turn, which is really, really nice for us here. Next turn, what we could also do is attack with the Collector and use Searing Barrage. Ooh, there is an Evolving Wilds to turn it immediately into a 4/4, and thank goodness we have the Searing Barrage in hand, because now we've got great attacks and can kill the Hydra and deal 3 damage with Adamant. And we drew another removal spell. So everything is coming up gold for us here in this third game. Go ahead and take the Searing Barrage, kill the Hydra. No good blocks. Go to 7. And then no additional plays, and the Remorse is lethal. So passing the turn, this is a really tricky spot to be in here now because I could go for lethal with the Remorse, but if they've got removal or something and then just play a big creature next turn, oh, that is so bad for me. I don't feel like I need to go for it right now. They can activate that at instant speed. So what I could do is attack with these two. Get the mana. And then if they block the 2/1, I can sack it to the Ghoul and then have the Ghoul and the Overwhelming Remorse to play. No, I can't because the Ghoul's gonna require a mana. So, won't be able to do both. But I decide to actually Overwhelming Remorse here and instantly punished with the Snakeskin Veil. So, yeah, that was not the greatest of plays. I think it was probably better to just sack it to the Ghoul and save the Remorse and play another Ghoul. Then I'd still have the Remorse and they'd be at 3. So that's a tough spot. Now if they kill the borders, like, this is not good. And they gained a life. But if they don't have priority here, which they don't, this is a lethal attack with both of these creatures, because if they block the borders, I sack the Augur to the Ghoul and deal 4. And if they block the Ghoul, the borders kills them. So, gotta read the arena cues sometimes to see if you've got priority in certain moments. Could also just sack the borders because it's going to die anyway. So, dealt 4 and got the win. Oof. That was a close one, but we got the first win of week 6. And with that win, you can now see the top of the leaderboard. And my name is no longer in the middle of it because we've jumped up into 5th place. So we're in 5th. Alata is in 1st place with a record of 22-6. That's the person you haven't been able to see on these leaderboards for the longest time. They are running away with this league pretty easily. In fact, I think at the time of this right now, they have locked up a top 8 spot no matter what. They could lose their last 2 matches and it doesn't matter. Sepulcher, Seething Octopus, and Lenindner are still above us. DiabolicMachine, who we just beat, has fallen down to 6th place because they also lost a couple of other matches between me making that graphic and me winning this match here. Frisky Hobbit still has plenty of matches to play. JM Tron, there's just a lot of great names here and a lot of very highly competitive names. So, you know what? We will take the win in the first match of week 6. We need probably a record of 4-1, maybe 3-2 gets us in. It's going to be close, but all we can do is just keep winning. Thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next match.